Hi guys, it's Kobe here, and in today's video we are going to talk about how this video was done. It's a breaker for Ghana Football Awards, and if there's enough time, we'll also try and talk about this video, how it was also done. And all this were done using Cinema 4D, Mixamo, and After Effects with no prior character animation background or even modeling. So I'm going to show from scratch basically how everything was done. So there is actually a longer version of it, which is like a teaser. So this is like a teaser, which shows like a miniature of characters trying to play football and stuff. And now eventually, and there's another one, which was, I think this is also the opening graphics for the award show, and out of this were those shots, breakers and bumpers done for the show. And this whole work was inspired, like it was 100% inspired by a work I think I saw on Behance, and it was an Euro football like tournament thing, like some two different videos, I think, some miniatures trying to, so it was 100% inspired by this work. So I did like a simplified version of it, because what, like, that one was a bit detailed and had a lot of things happening in it. And with regards to me, it being me only doing this one, and at the same time, like with the limited resources I had and even time and all that, I had to make sure I did something a bit simpler. But at the same time, I liked the concept and everything, so I sort of like did something similar, but a simplified version of it. So I'm going to show how I did everything. So let's actually dive into it and start working on how like the whole thing was set up. So straight away, I'm going to start with Mixamo, and Mixamo is an Adobe owned 3D technology which helps you to bring in characters and rig them and add some um, animations and stuff to it, pre-recorded like animation, like some motion captures. So you basically have to log in with your Adobe account, which I think you can simply freely sign, like set up your Adobe account for free for now. Like you can even use Facebook to log in when you set up. It's basically free, and you don't need to download it. It's like on the web. So you go to any of your browser and search for mixamo.com, and you log in with your accounts. You can log in with Facebook or your Gmail, whatever you want to, or you can actually go ahead and type in whatever you want to type in. So like I've logged in now, and this is the interface for Mixamo. It's as simple. So you can see we have up here character and animation. So like I said, I don't know how to model character from scratch, so I needed to find a character that has like that football looks. So luckily for me, Mixamo had something similar. So when you come in Mixamo characters, um I think go to the next page, like page 2, and there's a football character down here somewhere. That's it, and its name is Shannon. So you just select it, and it will ask you, if you don't have any character, like it will just upload. But if you have something, it will ask you, do you want to replace it? In this case, it's not necessary. Again, you can actually bring in your own character. If you have something like a character you've already modeled or something, you can actually bring it in, and you make sure it's in T pose, like this particular pose, so that it will be easy for the technology to recognize. So to bring in your character, you just go to upload character, and it should be either FBX, OBJ, and you select where the character is and go ahead and do that. But in this case, you are using this character, so it's not necessary. The next thing is, after you've imported your character, you now come to animations. So this is where all the animations that is already pre-recorded, like their motion captures, saved in here. So in my case, so I needed like football related animation. When you click on the search, it gives you, so combat, adventure, sports, dance, like different categories, so that I can make it easy for you. So in this case, you can actually go in and search something, and if there is something of that sort, you can actually get it. So I'll search let me see football and see what I get. Right. So in this case, it's giving me like I think the American football. Let me see soccer. I'll search soccer, and now yeah, I'm getting other like real soccer and everything. So you see, job for it, Caesar cake, and all that. So these are the soccer options that we have. But what I want, I think, was a strike. And let's see what you have. So you see strike forward. That's it. So this is what I used for the playing of the football, striking of the football. So when you have what you want, like you just double click on it, and immediately the character that you've brought in inherits the animation. Simple like that. So you can see it striking. And to navigate the interface here, it's just just clicking to orbit around, middle click to move, and right click to zoom, or can use your scroll wheel to also zoom as well. So it's as simple and basic as that. You can go here and actually extend the time that you want for it to go and all that. Like you can play around with it. There's not much to do with it. It's just simple as that. You come in and do what you want. Can hit in place, and it will not move. So it will just be at one place and just strike and all that. So that's basically how I got the character striking the ball. So the next thing, after you are done with what you want, what you do is you just click download, and now you can set the keyframe and everything that you want to. But in this case, I'll leave it as default. So I'll just click download, and it'll start preparing to download. So wait for just some few moments, and my asset is downloading. You can see it down here that it's downloading. So now that it's downloading, I can go ahead and look for another one. So I'll check tackle, and you can see soccer tackle. So this is the slide tackle that I think I used. So I'll click on it again, and now we have the soccer tackle as well. So the soccer tackle, so this one is done downloading. So now I can simply come in here and choose download the soccer tackle. So I'll click download again, and I'll go ahead and download the tackle as well. And when that's done, we'll now send it into Cinema 4D, where we compose everything, like we combine the two together. So let's go ahead and see how we bring it into Cinema 4D. So now I have Cinema 4D open, and this is Cinema 4D R20. And to bring in the Mixamo file, I'll come to where I saved it to. So this is the soccer tackle and the strike forward. So you can actually bring it, either one of them. So to bring it in, I can simply drag and drop it into Cinema 4D, and I'll leave everything as it is, and I'll hit OK, and it'll bring it straight into Cinema 4D. If I hit play, you can see the slide. And the same thing applies to the strike forward as well. So the same thing, I'll select, drag and drop it into Cinema 4D, and that one will open a new tab and place it in as well. So strike forward, this is the strike forward. So what I have to do is, so basically, for some reason, anytime you bring in something from Mixamo into Cinema 4D, everything grays out here. I mean, you can't control like everything, especially with the meshes and stuff. So what I'll do is I'll put them all in one null object, and I'll copy it, create a new scene, and I'll paste it here. I'll go down to the other scene, so I'll go Windows, down to soccer tackle, then I'll create a new null, add it to the null and copy the null, come and paste it into this new scene. So now I have the two here. So let's see what happens if I play. See, so one is tackling and one is playing the ball. So but if you can see in the original animation, which let me see, I have it here. Actually, let me have the tackle. It's actually moving slow, very very slow. All right, but the animation you have here is very very fast. And we could have probably increased the frame rate in Mixamo, but we are going to do it here. So what we can do is, I mean, this is the basic ways that you can actually select the whole frames. I mean, make sure the whole all the bones are selected. So select everything. You can actually middle click on it, and everything as a child of this particular bone will be selected. So now I can extend it to make it, but that's not the appropriate way to do it. But I'm just showing it's also possible, and there's the basic way. Like it, someone probably might want to do it. So to be able to get that slow motion, we are going to add something in this Mafodi called a motion clip, which is very very like a nice feature in Smart 4D, and it's something, I mean, in my subsequent videos I'll actually talk much more about motion clip. It's a very very nice and useful way to work. So to add a motion clip, we just select one of them. So let me first actually name the node. So I think this is the one for the yeah, the tackle. So I'll double click on the node and say and type tackle for the one. Press the nudge key to come down, then I'll type strike. So those are the two ones. So I'll select the tackle first, come to animation and add motion clip. I'll leave everything as it is done, and I'll hit OK for now. So let's see what we have. Yeah, so this is the motion clip. I'll select the motion clip and I'll open. Let me actually go back and show. So the motion clip tag selected, you see when I added the motion clip, it added a tag here. So with the tag selected, these are the options. So now I can actually open in TL. Now open the timeline for us, and this is our motion clip in here. So now let's see what like we can do with the motion clip. So what it has basically done is it's like it has put it in a clip. So we have it like a video clip sort of, right? So I can actually make it a bit our timeline a bit smaller so that we can see what's going on here. So if I hit play, you can see still the animation is very fast, right? But now what I can do with the motion clip is I can actually extend it to make it longer. So for instance, I come here, can make it longer as long as I want. So let me make it a bit bigger here. Calm down, make it scale the timeline. I can make it long as I want now. And now let's hit play and see how. See, it's really slow. Let me first hide the strike and let's see this. You can see it's really slow, and our timeline is not long enough to reveal the whole thing, so I'll add another 0. So it's actually really slow. Basically that's it's giving us that slow-mo thing. So I'll bring back the timeline again. I'll undo for now. So undo, yeah, for now. right? And the other interesting stuff is like this, like a video clip, so you can actually go in and actually split it and slow the part that you want. So actually, I think right click and you can do a cut. So I'm actually, so let me actually see where I want the cut. So let's say from here, so I start run daily slides, right? Somewhere here I want it in a slow mo, so I'll start my cut from somewhere here. um Somewhere there, so you can see now it has actually gone ahead to cut the thing for us. So I'll right click and now deselect the cut, and now we have a separate clip from this one. So let me show you what happens. See, gets here, because there's nothing here, it freezes, and you play till you get where to the other part, then it continues, right? So it's basically like a video clip, sort of. So if like the animation has been put in a clip and you can manipulate it, so can make some parts longer and some parts shorter and everything. So basically that's what I did. I extended the motion clip and make it longer, so the animation was um slow. So I'll do the same thing for the strike forward. So I select the strike forward as well, come to animation, add motion clip, and I'll hit OK, select the tag, open timeline, and um, with that one too, I um, can make our timeline a bit smaller so that we can get enough space. Then I can actually make it long as I want, so that the video will be slower. And if it's the shorter you make it, the video will also be longer. So you can see now the strike forward is also slow, so they are all now slow, right? The next thing was to position them, right? So I'll take the strike and I'll actually not the strike, I mean the tackle, and I'll rotate it in this direction, right? And you see, yeah, that's where it's going. So I'll actually move it a bit backwards, and I can check the timing. So I made sure where it's striking is exactly where the slide also matches. Like, so it's just about tweaking to get the right um timing. So here I have the scene, the original scene. Like, I've broken it down to the simplest form. This is the original scene I used for the video. So you can see it's the same thing. Like, I've slowed it down as much as I can, and it slides, and it's two cameras. So there's camera one and camera two, right? And what I'm using Cinema 4D, the stage object. When you come to where the like these elements, the floor, sky, and stuff are, you can see we have stage. And what I use the stage object to do is to stage the cameras. So from all this frame to frame, like 291, we are using camera one, and when we get to stage 200, frame 292, then it flips to camera two. So the Cinema 4D stage object makes you able to like switch cameras. So at this frame, you see the camera is camera can actually show you this camera. I mean, I didn't name the cameras, but the camera two that's showing. But if you go back, you can see it's now the camera one. See, so I use the stage object to do that. So the stage object, any camera that if I should create a camera right now, it wouldn't work. It will force the camera one to be the one active. So for to get into any other camera angle, I have to disable the stage object. So I'll disable it. Now make sure I'm in like the new camera I've created, and let me actually change it. Just want to see, let me say the face or something, right? And now I'll enable the stage object, if I should come select the stage object and replace it with this camera, you see that's what will be active. So the stage object helps you, so you just keyframe the angles, the cameras that you want. So that's what I use to do the switch. So I'll actually okay, undo, yeah. So now, yeah, back to our default. So this is basically what I did. I made sure I placed the tackle together, like the tackle, make sure it's at the same spot where the strike was ready, and I use the stage object to switch the two cameras. I can delete this camera because I don't need it. I use the stage object to switch the two cameras. So basically this is the whole thing for this scene. I mean, apart from that, nothing exceptional. The rest was like adding scene element to it. I mean, I can actually go ahead. So I basically added a huge cube, and I added a basic cube which I cloned it. So you can see it's just a normal cube which I've actually cloned. Let me see. So first of all, this is the background, right? So let me actually disable the stage object and get out of this camera, so you can see it's just a normal cube, right? And I've added some other cube on top too, so that the lighting will be a bit like, the space will break the light a bit, and it's the whole thing is within this small scenes, like, so it was like they're like miniatures, so the environment should look a bit big so that you feel like it's a bit small. So this one is also like breaking the light that's casting on the um like characters, right? So that's basically it. So the rest will be the lighting, which, and because of time out, that will be in a different like video. So this is what I did for the tackle scene. Added all this and clone them. I think that's it. Let's go ahead and see the free kick aspect as well. I mean, I use the same thing. I'm just going to break the scene down. Then in the next video, we'll see how we did the lighting and materials and stuff. So let's go into the free kick one. So this is the free kick scene, and you can see here it's the same strike that I used for the free kick, but so you can see this is the striker, and for the defenders I use a different, I mean, it wasn't like animated, so I pose them. So I'm actually go back into Mixamo to quickly show something. So I come to Mixamo and I'll actually type T pose, right? Then I'll click on the T pose. So I have this T pose, and I brought it into Cinema 4D. So I'll just download the T pose and quickly show what I did with the T pose. I downloaded the T pose character, right? I brought it into Cinema 4D, and now it will come into Cinema 4D rig with all the moves and everything. So you can now select the joints and actually move them in place. So that's what I basically did. So I just took one of them, moved it into position and stuff to get this kind of poses. So I can actually come in here. Let me disable the stage and move out of the camera, and you can see the same background for the what I used for the tackle. So now let's see this particular character, right? And actually come down here and select. The best thing is to actually lock the meshes so that I can be able to select the character, the bones. So with the character, I can come down to layers, and in Cinema 4D you have layers. So I've actually layered these characters. So right, I can actually lock the mesh, and now I will be able to select the joint. So I can simply select either of the joints, and now if I turn, you can see. So I can quickly switch the pose and stuff and everything. So That's basically how I did the defenders. So all of them can actually select this and post it the way I want. Turn it a bit, select that here, something. Actually, can come here. I can, give all those posts and everything. So Mixamo like easily brings you a real character, which in Cinema 4D there's even a way that you can actually um add layers on top of it, components with the Cinema 4D animation tools, and it can be very powerful. But that's a different conversation for another time. So that's how I used to pose these defenders. So the more I touched it a bit, like slightly different, and rotated them differently, and now I didn't animate the bones and everything, but what I animated is the um how do you call it, the position of the characters. So now I can actually unlock it, right, and show it here. And now if I select, you can see I keyframe the position. So I go to attributes, code, and you can see the position and rotations are the ones that I actually keyframe the bit. So I keyframe them slightly different from each other, so it's just moving up and rotating a bit, nothing fancy, right? And the rest, I added the stage object. So let me enable the stage, and you can see, so as the ball is coming, so the ball too, I animated the football myself. Let me add that one. The football, I just added like position and rotation and stuff to it. And see, it's nothing like crazy because it's moving slow. It doesn't matter the trajectory because you actually wouldn't feel like, that kind of thing. So I just did some small animation moving on top of them. So basically that's how I did the whole scene. All right, so you can see them moving up and down, the stage object also moving. So that's I did the same thing for the goalkeeper also in T pose, like, and actually started stretching the hand for it to get to the pose like that I want. For all of the characters, some I brought in animation from Mixamo, some of them I use just T pose to pose them the way I want it. And because like I had very limited resources, just one laptop that I was using to render and everything, I didn't want to do fancy stuff. I had different ideas, but I realized it will actually delay me, and I have very little time, less than I think when I actually started working, I had less than 3 days to do all those stuff. So I had to quickly put it together. So that's how come I did this. So basically, nothing. Again, I think we've covered everything, and I'd love to see if there's something you like to know. I can actually leave it in the comments, and I'll actually try and reply. Yeah. So basically, that's all about the scene. Nothing fancy. So in part two, I'll actually show how I added lights and textures and everything, and rated that like my passes and everything, and how I exported it into After Effects, and did my final render and everything. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part two.